welcome to Tennessee Real Estate Insider. I'm your host, Allyson Spencer, top producing real estate agent here in East Tennessee and property manager. Today joining me is Reazyn DeMoss. Hey. Thank you so much for joining today.
Happy to be here.
We get to talk about a fun episode about landscaping and curb appeal and how that really helps sell homes.
It's a fun topic.
Yes, it is. Thank you for joining.
Absolutely.
So when you're selling a house, which we did get the opportunity to work on selling a home together, curb appeal is huge. And you had your house looking so amazing. I mean, your house now looks amazing. Your curb appeal is so good. Your landscaping is amazing. So give us some pointers or tips and tricks.
Well, I will say landscaping, flowers, and all that stuff is one of my favorite things about my house. I've got a patio out back. Shout out to Sycamore Gardens Landscape Services, Chance DeMoss, my brother.
The best.
He is the best. I'm not just saying that because he's my brother, but he does incredible work. He has transformed the way that my house looks on the exterior. He's laid pavers. I've got bushes and trees and flowers on pretty much every part around my house, and it just catches your eye whenever you drive by. And that's any property that he's worked on. He does an amazing job. And I will say, I think that when people see that for the first time, especially when a house is for sale, it's a really good first impression.
Absolutely. And it really does just invite somebody in. I think when you're selling a home, it's important to put yourself in the buyer's position. The first impression that they get of your home is outside.
Yes.
It's your curb appeal. So if someone's looking on MLS at a picture, they will immediately see the exterior of the home. If it's covered in weeds and the mulch is awful, they may be less inclined to book a showing.
Yeah, or, simple pressure washing on the siding or on the front porch. Just little things go a long way. And if you take really good care of your exterior, chances are you probably take good care of the interior too. And people will know that before they even step foot in the house.
Absolutely. I know working with buyers and as a realtor, I look for that curb appeal because it does tell you a lot about the owner of the home and the seller and how much they've invested into the property, if they are committed to maintenance and repairs. So a few things to really help spruce up the curb appeal would be just simple things like mulch, fresh mulch. Chance just did my mulch as well.
He put that nice edge around it.
He did. That edge
he loves
everything.
A good edge.
Oh my gosh, and he's so fast.
You got to have a good edge.
I mean, I blinked. I was working on my computer and boom, they were done. And that edge was just amazing.
I know. He came and mowed for me a couple days ago, and when I'm pulling from work and just seeing the stripes through the yard, it makes a difference.
It does.
It does. I love coming home when I get home from work and it's just like clean, fresh mulch, stripes in the yard. It just sets the mood.
It really does. And I think what a seller needs to consider when they are talking about their curb appeal and the first impressions are a welcoming atmosphere. Maybe a fresh welcome mat, some, living plants that are not dead and crumbly.
Yes.
What is it going to say to invite somebody in? And so putting yourself in the buyer's position really, I think, helps determine what to do, but you don't have to break the bank. People can spruce up their exterior on a budget. So what are some things that maybe you did that you felt helped your home currently and the house that we listed for sale that were affordable and yet made a huge impact?
So I've done a lot of stuff to my exterior. Some things that were more expensive than others, but the little things that made a big difference was just changing out the front porch light. There was one there from probably when the house was first built. So just change that out. And I think I got it off Amazon or Lowe's or something. And
it does make a huge impact.
And it really wasn't that expensive. And then, just had somebody install it at the house. House numbers, went to Lowe's and just got a piece of wood and then got the cute little numbers and then put that up there. Made a huge difference. Took down the old ones that were all rusted. And then also I just got a new mailbox. Wow. And the mailbox looks so good.
Yes. I know. I need to get a new mailbox.
It's little things.
Yes, it is. But those little things really add up because between houses with good curb appeal, they sell 7 to 14% higher.
Wow.
So putting a little effort into your exterior will actually help your house sell for more money. And so that's something to keep in mind. Aside from landscaping, there's also the hardscaping, like you mentioned, your patio, and setting up lights. Lights just look amazing.
I did get some lights installed that have a timer. So every night when the sun starts to set, they come on and then they shut off on their own, and it makes a huge difference. And if you are selling a property, people do come look at houses in the evening when they're off of work. And so if they pull into a house that has lights shining up on it, I think that that's a good impression too.
Absolutely. Another thing, one of the little pet peeves as being a real estate agent is driving around, seeing a house for sale, and it is horribly dirty. Pressure washing is so affordable and so dramatic.
Makes a huge difference.
It does.
Makes
I
a huge
think
difference.
Extreme Pressure Washing, shout out to Extreme Pressure Washing. They pressure wash my house. They also hang Christmas lights.
That's nice.
Yes, a little dual business there, but he is awesome, and really it provides such a clean slate. I think every home owner should pressure wash their home every few years, depending on where they live and the humidity. But it really sets a home apart and makes a big impact financially. Little small touches. What are some of the little details? I know for me personally, I love fresh flowers. Some fresh plants. If it's at Christmas time, maybe some pretty Christmas decorations on your front porch.
A wreath. I recently painted my front door and changed it to a cute color just to give a little abstract, and just little things. That took me an hour.
Yes.
To paint that, and it makes a big difference. Painting your shutters. If they are starting to fade or changing the color, it's an easy fix.
Do you have a favorite color?
I'm very indecisive.
I think
you could ask me right now.
The last shutters I painted were peppercorn.
Mine are more of a taupe color right now.
Okay.
Yeah. But you could ask me in a month from now, and it'll be different.
But they really do make such an impact. Yeah. Just fresh paint on those shutters, fence maintenance and gate maintenance.
Yes. That is important. You see the white fences, I think, are beautiful, but they can get really dirty, and you can tell the ones that haven't been pressure washed in who knows how long.
Yeah.
And if you just took a pressure wash to that, it would just brighten it up so much and look a lot better.
Absolutely. And if a buyer maybe has need of the fence, knowing that it's totally fenced in and there's not a piece of wood missing would, really motivate them, because it's an expense that they'll have to take on. Another thing is patio furniture. Okay, I got the best patio furniture from Walmart.
Did you?
It looks like Pottery Barn, I'm just saying.
Recently?
No, it's the patio furniture that's on my porch right now.
Okay.
But it is Better Homes and Garden. Amazing. Every 6 months, now I like to do a little, landscaping and pressure washing myself, but I pressure wash my patio furniture. And I went to a listing consultation in Elizabethton a few months ago. They had the exact same patio furniture, but it was so dirty.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, if they just pressure wash this, it will pop. It looks brand new. And then when you have some fresh, plants, it's just so inviting.
Patio umbrella. I have a big, nice red one on the back patio, and my house there's nothing red out there. It's red and bright, and it looks so cute.
And the ones with little lights under them, that's really inviting too.
And then another thing is, I know driveway repairs can get expensive, but if you do have an asphalt driveway, just getting it sealed every so often to keep it looking nice and clean and smooth, that goes a long way too.
It really does, and that's not that unaffordable either, to have it resealed. Obviously, if you had to recap it, that's a little bit more of an expense, but it's such a maintenance thing that needs to occur, I believe, because when I drive by a listing, especially if it's going to be a high caliber listing, and their driveway has, faded and it's crumbly, then I think it's going to deter a buyer, because they don't realize how inexpensive it is. They may also think the seller's not been doing upkeep.
Right.
And, garden beds, depending on the time of year, just if you have garden beds and bushes and shrubs, keeping those trimmed up. Trees hanging over the house, that's a big one. Making sure that you cut trees. And remember, you repainted your spindles on your porch. I think it really made a good first impression.
I mean, it absolutely, it needed to be done,
Yeah.
but that was a task.
Yeah.
That was a
That's
task.
no
I went
easy
through
task.
and sanded each spindle, took the spindles off, sanded each one, and then repainted them, and
That's
then put them back
amazing.
on.
It's amazing.
It looked a lot better. Can't say I want to do that again.
But there are so many options out there for sellers to consider. Just putting yourself, what is something that you would look for when you're evaluating a home to possibly buy yourself? What appeals to you when you see the exterior of a home?
Probably the biggest things is going to be like the doors and the windows and making sure that they're in good condition. And you can, in the siding, if you see that the siding is starting to bow in some places, there could be some water damage going on, the gutters, this can be big expenses if you don't have the funds to be able to replace all that stuff. That's something that you would need to pay attention to.
Absolutely. I think too, just being able to, the time of year is going to change what you do with the exterior of your home. And so evaluating your weather conditions.
I think something else to look for is making sure that you do have proper drainage. When it rains, you need to make sure that the water's running off and not running towards the house. Those are things to look for also.
Absolutely.
So Chance does a really good job about that. I've got lots of French drains and everything runs straight out down the driveway. So I don't have to worry about any standing water and just things like that.
Do you do like residual lawn care, seeding or weeding?
Yes. I would say weekly he comes out and does the lawn care, and then he just fertilized for me. I'm very particular about my landscaping.
I know. I don't like seeing weeds either.
Yeah, and I make my son go out and pull weeds. That's his chore.
That's really good. Well, I think overall, we've come up with some good plans to help a seller really max out their potential. And the first thing is the first impression. And the first impression that a consumer and a buyer sees is the exterior of their home.
Yes.
What is going to entice them to come? And I fully believe creating an inviting exterior will do the trick. So thank you so much for joining today. I appreciate having you today. And tune in next time for the next episode.